word. What should I do?
Ah, ich weiß.
Here on Get Germanized, we talk about German words, German grammar, German language, German life, life in Germany all the time. And so it is no surprise that I notice when Germans pronounce words wrong. I do sometimes myself, I'm not saying I don't, but this is something that you should look out for if you want to pronounce German correctly. Excluding dialects and everything else and just focusing on standard high German here, of course. So if you want to learn that, this is a video for you. I would say let's get started. Lasst uns anfangen. First up, the German word for bruschetta. The Italian, I think it's Italian dish, this little bread with stuff on it, bruschetta. And so many Germans call it die Bruschetta, But I have heard and researched that actually bruschetta is, well, what you should call it if you want to sound more correct in this case, bruschetta. To be honest, this is a word I would probably get wrong as well, because I don't say it often, I don't hear it often. But in case you need to know, now you do. Die bruschetta. Next up, the German word for to license something. Many Germans would say lizenzieren. Lizenzieren. Ich möchte das gerne lizenzieren. But that is wrong, unfortunately. I would like to license this in German would be lizenzieren. Ich möchte das gerne lizenzieren. Not lizenzieren, but lizenzieren. Zier dich nicht. Pronounce it correctly. Next up, this tiny little fruit that you might like. It's called Litschi. Lychee. I'm not actually sure what English people say, but many Germans pronounce it Litschi, die Litschi. Like very long vocal here, Litschi. But that is not correct. It is actually die Litschi. Die Litschi. Litschi is wrong. Litschi is correct. Remember it. Next up, another food item. We love food here on Get Germanized. And so the next one is the German word for gnocchi. Many Germans would say Gnocchi when it comes to this Italian food item, which drives many Italians crazy, I assume. Gnocchi, but it is not gnocchi, but gnocchi. Gnocchi. It's very close to the Italian pronunciation, if not the same, and this is what Germans should call it as well. Gnocchi, not gnocchi, even though it's kind of charming because it's so German. Next up, if you order a latte at a cafe, right, what would you usually call this in German? Well, many Germans say, ich hätte gerne einen Latte macchiato, Latte macchiato, which to some German ears might sound correct, but it's of course not. Because you should say, if you want to sound correctly, then you should say Latte macchiato, Latte macchiato. Not macchiato, but macchiato. Lacciato, lacchiato, latte macchiato or latte macchiato. Which one do you like better, by the way? I'm not saying you have to say this, right? If you prefer dialect and slang and sounding like you are from a certain region of Germany, that's completely fine by me, I don't care. But if you want to sound like a standard German speaker, then latte macchiato is what you need to say. Next up, Germans seem to have problems with well, pronouncing Italian words correctly, because the next one is another Italian word. And Germans call this, often at least, Espresso. Könnte ich bitte einen Espresso haben? Like it's an express or something, very fast. And well, it is kind of, because it's so small, you drink it, then you're done. But it's still wrong. The correct pronunciation here would be der Espresso. Der Espresso. So not expresso, but espresso. Probably I'm wrong as well, because in Italian it's a little bit different still. But this is more correct than espresso anyway. Next up, this word definitely proves my theory right. Ciabatta, the German word for ciabatta, I think this is how English speakers say it at least, ciabatta, is not ciabatta, as some Germans say, ciabatta. Könnte ich bitte ein Stück ciabatta haben? Or ciabatta? Ciabatta. How could you even say it more wrong? I'm not sure. Ciabatta. But the correct pronunciation here would of course be ciabatta. Ciabatta. Könnte ich bitte ein Stück ciabatta haben? Closer to the original pronunciation, I'm sure, Still probably not quite there, but closer. Next up is a word that doesn't only drive German speakers insane, but also everyone else in the world, I'm sure, with the exception of people that come from that area of, I think, England, is it? Well, I'm gonna try to pronounce Worcestershire sauce correctly, Worcestershire sauce, right? And many Germans, similar to many other people all around the world, pronounce it incorrectly and pronounce it as, for example, just one of the many, many examples of mispronunciation here, Worcestersauce, die Worcestersauce, while it should be Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Also a little lesson for all my English-speaking friends. Worcestershire sauce. Next up is another item of devouring. It's the German word for zucchini. It's not Zucchini, as many Germans call it. Zucchini. Könnte ich bitte eine Zucchini haben? Could I get a zucchini? No. It is actually die Zucchini. Die Zucchini. Die Zucchini. Like tsunami. Zucchini. Next up, the German word for chorizo, this sausage. Yes, it's a sausage. I don't know actually where it's from. Is it Italian? I think so, chorizo. Anyway, many Germans tend to call it Chorizo, die Chorizo-Wurst. But of course the correct pronunciation here would be Chorizo, Chorizo, Chorizo-Wurst, Chorizo, not Chorizo. Not chorizo, anything but chorizo. Chorizo, 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 chorizo. Which one of these words have you pronounced wrong before? Because I know I have pronounced many of these wrong in the past until I researched the correct pronunciation. Speaking is difficult. But if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon and all the good things. Look in my video description for example, my Instagram page. It's amazing. I post stuff about the German life, and the German words and other things that are German on there and on my other social media as well. So if you want that, do it. And if you want to watch another video of mine, you can do so here. More German words that blow your mind and all of that. And here German sayings that also blow your mind because it's weird. Anyway, apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.